بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Today is day of the 27th of Ramadan, alhamdulillah. And today we're going to cover, inshallah, 2 chapters. And tomorrow night we're going to do the Khatm al-Qur'an and the dua. Today we're going to cover chapters 28 and 29. And tomorrow night, inshallah, we cover the last juz' 30th. And we concluded, alhamdulillah, the Khatm of the Qur'an. Ramadan is going really fast this year. And still we are doing it from home. So our masajid is still shut down. And we start this lecture with making dua for ourselves, for our family, for our community, for our ummah. We ask Allah to, subhanahu wa ta'ala, to cure the humanity from COVID-19 outbreak. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our fasting, to accept our prayer, to accept our recitation of the Quran, our dhikr, our sadaqah, our righteous deed. Allahumma ameen. Now, remember with the beginning of Juz' 1 before, this is one surah spanned almost 3 juz'. Right now, there is a few surah in one juz'. See, subhanallah, this is at the end of Quran, there is many surahs inside that juz'. And today is no difference. Juz' 28 spans Surah Al-Mujadala, Surah Al-Hashr, Surah Al-Mumtahina, and Surah Al-Saf, and Surah Al-Jum'ah, and Surah Al-Munafiqun, and Surah Al-Taghabun, and Surah Al-Talaq, and Surah Al-Tahrim. Surah Al-Tahrim. That is 7, 8, 9. That's 9 surahs. 9 surahs in this juz'. And this is, if you look at to this juz' 28, it is a Madani surahs. And that's mostly when we say talking about Madani, meaning there's ahkam, there is a law, whatever family law, civil law. That's mostly is dealing with laws. And there's no difference here. The first Surah Al-Mujadala is dealing with one of the custom of the Jahiliyyah before. For the Islam, when the Islam came with clear instruction and clear message. Before the custom, the Arab, when they part of their culture, part of when they want to divorce a wife or his wife, he will say, "You are unto me like my mother." So they call it Dahar. So it came the Islam here and changed this concept of divorce, of law of divorce. So this is why the pagan practice of divorce through the hearts, calling his wife as his mother, is prohibited in Islam. And there is penalty for the one who practices that. Because what has happened now, a Muslim is practicing, he just divorced his wife the way the Jahiliyyah they used to do. So Islam came here and abolished that practice completely, and there is a penalty for the one who practiced that in Islam. And also, this surah, dealing with the secret, when we talk to each other, like 2 or 3 people, they talk in secret while the other is listening over that. So that's prohibited in Islam. He said, even whoever you have 2 talking secret, and somebody else third is like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their third, all 3rd and 4th, and Allah will the 5th one. Meaning that there's above you as going in your secret, Allah knows your secret talk. Secret counsel also that here, secret counsels are forbidden except about the virtue and piety. Sometimes, Islam allow that all just for in case of there is piety in it or virtues in it. And also conspiring in secret is the work of the shaitan. Etiquette of holding a meeting. That's all that lessons from the surah. The order to spend in charity before. Yeah, that's also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just put us in a test as a Muslim to do what? To spend in charity before counseling the Rasulullah subhanahu wa ta'ala in private, in public and private. Because people, they come to them, they want to counsel them all the time. There's no time left for themselves. Only no love time for his private life. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with that. Do you want to do though? Do you have to pay sadaqah first? So and then that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the surah, who are the believers who are the allies of each other. The disbelievers, they are allies with each other, and the believers, they are allies, that they be friends with each other. Now comes to the Surah Al-Hashr. Surah Al-Hashr, deals with a Jewish tribe of Bani al-Nadir. Is given the order of exile for their breaking their treaty with the Islamic State. Distribution of belonging of Bani al-Nadir. Allah came even have distributed their belonging after they left the Medina. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also admonishing the good qualities of the true muhajirin, the immigrants, and good quality through the Ansar, the residents of the Medina. Allah praise both parties. The hypocrites' conspiracy with the people of the book. That's their, looks like, give the example of the shaitan versus the disbelievers. Let each soul see what it is sending for the hereafter. The Quran could even affect mountains. Subhanallah. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. If we have sent this Quran in a solid mountain, you will see the mountain crushed. But are we, as the people of the Quran, we understand that meaning? May Allah give us tawfiq. Now, Al-Mumtahana, Surah Al-Mumtahana, Surah number 60, is different theme. Allah give us right away an instruction and a lesson for us. Don't befriend those who are enemies of Allah and His Messenger and the Muslims. Ibrahim and his companions are excellent example for the believers. So that's the example Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam to the believers. And also the prayers of Ibrahim and his companion. And also given us some exception, about the prohibition of friendship with unbelievers who had neither fought against the believer nor expelled them from their homes. That's an exception to that rule. And also, as a lesson for women that become believers, test them in their iman. And if you find them truthful, do not return them to their unbelieving husbands. So also, in the end of this ayah, the last ayah of the surah is talking about the bay'ah, oath of allegiance. Do not befriend any with whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is angry with. And then we'll go to Surah Al-Safa. Surah Al-Saf is you will see this has also a test for the believers, a test for us. What do we say? If we say something, we have to fulfill it. We have to prove it by our action. So our tongues agrees with our hearts, within our hearts. So, O believer, do not say something that you do not do. That's a great lesson. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لما تقولون ما لا تفعلون. Oh, do not say something, you cannot gonna fulfill it. The Prophet Isa alayhi salam gave the good news about Rasulullah. So that's when Isa alayhi salam, in his time, in his era, and said, "Oh, I am a prophet for Bani Israel. I came up with Allah support me with the Bible, and in the Bible I am also giving glad tidings for a prophet will come after me. His name is Ahmad. Is even by his name. His name is Ahmad. That's one of the names of the Prophet is Ahmad, Muhammad, and other other names for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam." And also there's a lesson for us in a bargain to save oneself from a hellfire. Like the disciples of Isa alayhi salam, believers are commanded to be the helper of Allah. Isa alayhi salam, he said, "Man ansari ilallah." That's it. He believed with his disciples. The disciples that we, the helpers of Allah, meaning that they followed Isa alayhi salam and the message of Isa alayhi salam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he just praised them for that. And then comes Surah Al-Jum'ah. Surah Al-Jum'ah, alhamdulillah. This is why we have our Jum'ah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a chapter, call it for the Jum'ah, for the importance of the Jum'ah. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, the previous nation before us, the Jews and the Christians, they missed the actual day of Jum'ah. The Jews, they used the Saturday for the Jum'ah, and the Christian, they use Sunday for the Jum'ah. And as a Muslim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides us for the truth day of the Jum'ah, which is our Jum'ah in Islam. So Jum'ah for us as Muslim, Saturday for the Jews, and Sunday for the Christian. So Allah appointed our Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam as Rasul, and Allah refuted the claim of Jews to be the favorite of God, and commandment relating to obligation of the Friday prayer. Or you who believe, when you hear the call for Jum'ah prayer, leave your business and come to the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Leave your business and come to remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the obligation of the day of Jum'ah. And since that time, it became obligated and follow the obligation rules for the Jum'ah. And then after that came Surah Al-Munafiqun. Munafiqun, from even the name of it, the hypocrites. And the hypocrites, the one, they have show two faces. One face when they are with the Muslims, they say something, and when they turn back, their back to the Muslims, go to their friends from Jews or from the spirit, they show the other face. Hypocrites are such enemies of Islam and Muslims that even the Rasul sallallahu alaihi prayer cannot obtain forgiveness for them from Allah. That not your riches of children divert you remembrance of Allah, lest you become a real losers. So what did happen here is, Khwani, the day we go meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the dying person, he begs Allah to give me a chance, give me another chance to go back to Allah, to again for this life. Give a chance to be alive again for even 1 hour, 2 hours, and then what he begs for, he will go and make a good deeds by paying charity. That's sadaqah. The first thing comes to his mind to do after he realizes that it's coming, and he wished that he could have paid, or just he would ransom himself with all what he used to have, but it's too late. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that dying person, he wished to come back to life just for a span of hours. To the first thing he want to do, he pay sadaqah. And then after Surah Al-Munafiqun comes Surah Al-Taghabun, and that's also, this is one of Surah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us belongs that kingdom of heaven and earth, and he knows all that you conceal or you. Allah knows everything. Allah knows. عالم الغيب والشهادة. Everything he knows. And indeed, there will be life after death, day of judgment, and reward of good and bad deeds will be shown on the day of judgment. No affliction. That's the lesson where we are in right now. Our days right now in COVID-19. No affliction can ever befall except by the leave of Allah. And among also another lesson for us here, Khwani, sometimes we don't know who are our friends and who are enemies in this life. Allah tells us that. Allah says in the Quran, among your wives and children, there are some who are your enemies. Be aware of them. How could that kind of? That's it. Because sometimes your children, they drive you away from even to be a good Muslim. Why? They keep doing bad thing, they do an evil thing, and you support them. By supporting them, you are also a guilty part as well. So that's how they turn to be as your enemy, because you get bad deed, you get sins because you support your own children, or you also support the other our family member who are committing sins. That's how you get the share of their sins. When you support them, when we just encourage them to do the evil things, you are part of the evil things. And in Surah also comes next in Surah Al-Talaq. Surah Al-Talaq, this is the lesson for us, is the law of divorce. And also what the waiting period after the divorce. And before the divorce even can. See that I told you, it is those surahs are concerned about the law, the family law, the marriage law, the divorce law. That is the different from the Makki surah. Makki surah dealing with the aqidah, with the iman, with believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believing in life after death. That's all that covers, all that subject. But in the Madani here, you're dealing with the law. So this is the first lesson from us from Surah Al-Talaq. And also, and this is specified, the waiting period after the talaq, which is a 3 menstruation period and 3 months delivery in case of pregnancy. So that's two things. Whether you wait 3 months after divorce if there is no pregnancy, or if you are pregnant, is the time you deliver the pregnancy, the case of pregnancy. And then we come to Surah Al-Tahrim. Surah Al-Tahrim here is all this also Madani Surah. And one of the big lessons for us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do not make something unlawful which Allah has made lawful to you. And this is when talking to our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So what had happened, there is, two of the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they try to, talk to among themselves, and they did try to, manipulate the feelings or the, how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just dealing with the other wife, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do not listen to. Let's make sure that you listen to what the Quran is telling you, even if they are your own wives. This is the beauty of the law of the Islam. You don't hide anything. You say it as is, and should even against yourself, against your inshallah. It's one of the beautiful things about the Islam. Islam, when he comes with the law is clear. The law is beautiful. The law is as clear. No ambiguity, no, everything should be clear. So may Allah, inshallah, give us tawfiq, may Allah give us understanding. And then this also one of the lessons about Surah Al-Tahrim. O believers, turn to Allah in sincere repentance. This surah talking about sincere repentance if you want to be forgiven. How? What the sincere repentance in Islam is? It has a pillar. It has 4 pillars. Sincere repentance. The first one, you have to admit your sin, your mistake. Second thing, you have to regret it. Regret what you have done is wrong. And third one, you ask Allah for forgiveness, to forgive your sins or mistakes. And the fourth one, you pledge that you didn't do it again. This is if there is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the sin between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like ibadat or trivial. However, if we make an injustice or make wrong somebody else, other human being or other people beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sincere repentance has 5 pillars. The 4 pillars, and then add to add one, you have to have forgiveness from the people you commit wrong to. The people you commit so may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inshallah give us tawfiq. And just I'm gonna just reply to this message, inshallah. And so the dua of the Khatam, inshallah, will be tomorrow. Alhamdulillah, today we're going to conclude Juz 29, 28, 29, and tomorrow we're going to, inshallah, cover the last Juz, and we're going to, inshallah, make dua Quran. And we just concluded most of that's Ramadan. After that, almost done. Just only about a day or 2 left after that. But alhamdulillah, we're going to make dua for ourselves, for our community, inshallah, tomorrow. May Allah give you tawfiq, give our, inshallah, make a lot of dua to your family between tonight and tomorrow and the day of Eid. I wish you, all of you, inshallah, happy Eid as well. Even our masajid is still shut down, but we have to do the best. We have to do the best, inshallah. So now we move to Juz 29. Juz 29, it covers also its many surahs. It started with Surah Al-Mulk, and the virtue of Surah Al-Mulk, Tabarak alladhi biyadihi al-mulk wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir, blessed who had the dominion of earth and heavens, and he is able to do everything. The Prophet ﷺ, there is a surah, had a 30 ayats, kept interceding in its companion till Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven the person. Meaning that the Prophet ﷺ, he just recommend us, even when we go to sleep, before we go to before to go to bed, to recite this Surah Al-Mulk. It takes you about a few minutes, maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes. With understanding, maybe it takes you 4 minutes. But look, even when you're in your grave, the surah comes and intercedes on your behalf. It is one of the surah. It just, inshallah, when you are in the grave, it just intercedes on your behalf, make your grave, inshallah, peace of keep asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your forgiveness. As I said, this surah is now most of the surahs in Juz 29, most of them are Makkis. And Makkis, as I said, they deal with the Aqidah, they deal with the Iman, they deal with one God, they deal with be patient, they deal with doing good, and dealing with, there is Iman in hereafter, there was life after death, there was Jannah, there was hellfire, all that matters of Aqidah, all during the revelation of Makki Qur'an. So, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking, just give us just a glimpse of this surah. Kingdom of universe belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The lower heaven is decorated with stars. Conversation between the dwellers of the hell and the gardens of the hell, the malaika of the hellfire. No one can help you against Allah. No one can provide you a sustenance beside Allah. No one can save you from the punishment beside Allah. See, all that's iman, 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 iman. Now we go to Surah Al-Qalam. Qalam is the pen. It's also with one of the Makki surah. In this Surah Al-Qalam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has declared Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be of the highest moral and akhlaq and the highest character. And Prophet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do not yield to any disbelieving oath, monger, slander, or wicked person. Be good. See, that's the ayat. This is the the Makki Qur'an. And also another lesson from Surah Al-Qalam, what happened to the arrogant, stingy owners of garden who didn't want to pay charity. That's the companion of the gardens. And when they decide they're not going to help the needy anymore, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did to their garden, destroyed it completely. Without they were going there to harvest. They said, okay, this year no needy will be take a share from. He said this belonged to them, and look what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wiped it out completely. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us a lesson that Allah does not treat the good people, especially the Muslims, as He treated the mushrikeen or the kuffar or the guilty one. Why don't the disbeliever understand this fact? Those who do not believe in Allah, revelation, are led step by step toward their destructions. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did to the previous nation when they belied their prophets and belied the messenger and the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, led to their destruction. And the other surah, just Surah 69, Surah Al-Haqqa. And the main lesson for Allah in Surah Al-Haqqa is this description of the day of resurrection and of the day of judgment. This is subhanAllah, that's the Makki surah. It tells us exactly, describe to us, look, the day of judgment, you are look at it, just yes, you are living it, you are just in front of your eyes. And also telling us, that surah tells us righteous people and their reward, and the sinful people and their punishment. The Quran is the word of Allah and not of the prophets, and is a reminder for those who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also the other surah, Surah Al-Ma'arij, Allah gives us a glimpse here about, again, the day of judgment will be equal to the 50,000 year as in our calculation years. And the disbeliever will wish to save themselves from the punishment at the expense of their children, wives, brothers, relatives, for anyone. But it would not happen. Paradise is not for the disbelievers. The paradise is the one who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also comes in Surah Nuh, as you know, Surah Nuh from the name of it, talking about the Prophet Nuh and his da'wah to his people, and how much he spent. He spent 950 years in da'wah. And the Prophet Nuh prayed not to leave any unbelievers of the service of the earth, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted him that. When he made dua for the disbelievers, he said, oh Allah, they are not going to believe. I've been fighting them for Islam for look how many years, for 950 years, and they are still not believers. So said Allah, destroy them, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listened to him. And then comes Surah Al-Jinn, a beautiful speech of jinns who embraced Islam after hearing the Quran. Jinns also have different religions and sects among jinns. There are some Muslims and some non-Muslims from their, and they deviate from the truth. Mosques are built for the worship of Allah, so invoke none but Allah. The Rasul sallallahu do not have the power to harm or benefit anyone. Their mission is just to convey Allah's message. So when this is all that comes after that, the Muzammil, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordained the Prophet not to stand in prayer the whole night. Those who oppose the Prophet will be treated with heavily punishment with the blazing fire. The Quran is a reminder for those who seek to find the right way. Read from the Quran as much as you easily can. Whatever you spend in the way of Allah, you will find it in the hereafter. So this is the beauty of this, the Surah Al-Muzammil. It is Surah number 3 in Revelation, the very, very early Revelation. And then after Surah Al-Muddathir. Surah Al-Muddathir, instruction to the Prophet for cleanliness and patience. The day of judgment will be very difficult, especially for those who deny Allah's revelation and oppose His message and His messenger. Action which lead to hellfire. Not if you, the people who are not offering their salah, or not feeding the poor, or they're wasting their time in vain, or with the vain talk and denying the day of judgment, or we're looking for their destruction in hereafter. And the other surah is, Surah Al-Qiyamah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a clear lesson. Be aware of the day of resurrection and judgment, from which there is no escape. Allah Himself took responsibility of the Quran. The last moment of disbeliever death, the disbeliever do not believe because they never took Islam seriously. That's it, the Quraysh, the one, the disbeliever of the Quraysh. And the other surah in the juz number 29 is Surah Al-Insan, or Al-Dahr. The universe was there before mankind existed. Then Allah created man, provided him with guidance, and gave him free will, either to believer or disbeliever. An example life in the paradise for those who chose to believe in Allah and the Quran. And this is an admonition for those who want to adopt the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the guidance of Allah. And the last surah in this chapter 29 is Al-Mursalat. And this Surah Al-Mursalat, actually, as a matter of fact, this is according to Sirah, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam recite this surah in Surah Al-Maghrib, last prayer. He led the companion during his final days of his life. Allah swears in the name of life-giving winds, rain, and angels that the day of judgment will be established. Destruction and awe on the day of judgment to the disbeliever. On that day, the disbeliever will be asked to walk towards the hill which they used to deny. The righteous will be given all that they desire, and a warning to the disbeliever. This is, the theme of most of the Makkah. If you don't believe in the message or the messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will be thrown in the hellfire. That's what did happen to Abu Jahl, to Abu Lahab, to all the leader of Quraysh who killed in Badr as disbelievers. That's what Prophet used to rise in. That's what he used to warn them. Can they listen? No. But right now they're going to find out very soon, and then when coming, they will go to their final abode in the hellfire. May Allah save us from the hellfire. May Allah make us among the one who understand, the one who believe, the one make the Quran part of our life. Inshallah, as I said, tomorrow night, inshallah, we're going to conclude the khatim of the Quran, and inshallah, we're going to make dua for ourselves, for our community, for our inshallah ummah, and we ask Allah subhanahu to accept our dua, our supplication, our fasting, our Quran, our righteous deed. Allahumma ameen. Wa salli wa sallam wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.